Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Kathy Kidd, and I'm back again with another story time video for you. And today I'm going to be talking about what God taught me about being a fool. A fool. Like the old song goes, everybody plays the fool. Everybody plays the fool sometimes. No exception to the rule. Listen, baby. Y'all know that song. We all have played the fool, right? 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 Sure we have. Well, this is a really good lesson that God taught me, and I want to share it with you today. Hopefully, it will give you some insight and inspire you. So sit back and listen. But before we begin, I ask that you click like on this video. Please and thank you. Share it to inspire others and leave me a comment. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click the bell notification so that you can know every time I upload a new video. Now, with all that out of the way, let's begin. In 2005, I was living in Chicago on the west side. I was married to my kid's father at that point, and it was more than 2 years at that point. My son was 3 and my daughter was 1. I had been through a lot in my relationship, and I had, really since the beginning, and I had a feeling that he wasn't being faithful. Every time I would ask him about it, he would just explain it away. He had an answer for everything. So I would let it go, and I would even feel bad, for how I was thinking. I would turn on myself and blame myself, like we do. When he blamed me for it, I just accepted it. I'm just thinking, maybe I was wrong. I just felt like a fool and everything because I'm, believing stuff that really was right in front of my face. Because a lot of times it is right in front of your face, and we just, let stuff go over our heads sometimes. And I did. A lot of times we do, I know men do it too. Men get played the fool, they play the fool sometimes just like women do. It's a lot of people out here that, will get with you and have their own agenda and, don't have your best interest at heart and don't care, And because we love them, a lot of times we stick around way longer than we should, right? So at that time in Chicago, one of my favorite radio stations was WNUA 95.5. WNUA 95.5. Check the vibrato. I know y'all like my vibrato. Forget y'all. Okay, so I enjoyed listening to, smooth jazz. That was the smooth jazz radio station. And I listened to it a lot while I was cleaning the house and, cooking and everything like that, doing all my wifely duties. Not saying I was perfect, but I did my best. I spent time with the kids, so music was always on. I listened to other radio stations too, but WNUA was my favorite at that time. And now one of the reasons that I don't really listen to the radio anymore is because a lot of times, when they have some hit songs or whatever, they play the same songs over and over and over and over again. And you get tired of them. You get sick of listening to them, right? So now at that time, we talking about the early 2000s. This was like early to mid 2000s. And at that time, the Luther Vandross song "Don't Want to Be a Fool" that was playing in heavy rotation. It played several times a day. Okay, every time I turn it on. Not that it wasn't a good song; it was a good song. You know. And matter of fact, I think I'll include a video of that in the description box, just in case some people don't know who Luther Vandross was. That velvety, smooth voice that he had. Just don't wanna be a fool. That was the song, and it was playing in heavy rotation. So after so many times listening to that song, just like a lot of other songs that were playing too much, I got tired of it, right? And so every time it would come on, I would either change the station or I would turn the radio down or whatever. Like, okay, I'm done. I'm sick of this. Okay, so one day I was riding in my minivan with the kids, and more likely than not, I was going to go do some grocery shopping or something like that, you know. And I turned the radio on. I turned on WNUA so I could see what was on. And sure enough, soon as I turned to that station, guess what was playing? I just don't want to be a fool. Said I don't want to be a fool ever again. I said again. I didn't say again. I said again. I know I got issues, y'all. But anyway, so when I heard that, I kind of threw a little mini temper tantrum. Again? You know, and I just turned the radio down. You know, but after I turned the radio down, I just got to thinking to myself, okay, it's not that it's such a bad song, because if it was a bad song, they wouldn't be playing it, right? But I had to really deal with what was going on the inside of me. You know, it didn't have anything to do with the song while I was getting so frustrated. Really, what was going on inside of me was conviction. So every time I heard that song, I would feel convicted. You know, just, you know, feel like I'm being a fool. Okay? And so what I began to do when I accepted that, I just started praying. And I said, Lord, okay, am I a fool? Am I a fool, Lord? Because I believe this man when he tell me something. I hope you don't hear that noise. That's background noise that's outside. Okay? Okay, it's gone. So I just asked the Lord if I was a fool. Am I a fool? Because I believe him when he tell me that he's not cheating on me, because I take him at his word. You know, am I a fool? And when I asked that question, what popped into my mind, his answer to me was, and this is exactly the way he said it, a good name is worth more than silver and gold. Okay? Now, I knew that was in the Bible, you know, so I went to go look it up to see exactly the way it's worded. In the NIV version, it's Proverbs chapter 22, verse 1. And it says, a good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold. So this is what the Lord helped me to understand after I read that package. Okay? When a person tells you anything, okay, you're supposed to be able to take them at their word. All right? You should never be going through playing mental gymnastics, questioning everything. You know, like, okay, I thought he told me this. Yeah, I thought he told me that. You know, is that right? You know, I'm pretty sure I heard him say, you know, if you got to do that much questioning, it's time for you to reevaluate that relationship. Okay? And if it's any man watching this, same goes for you. Because I know I'm a woman and I can only speak about things from a woman's perspective. But I don't like to leave the guys out, because a lot of things that we go through as women, they go through too. They just deal with it in different ways. Okay? And so anytime if somebody takes joy in deceiving you, if they take joy in telling you anything, and knowing that you will believe it, and they laugh at that and they play that like that's a game, that's not a good person. Okay? It's not a good person. That's not somebody who has your best interests at heart. It's not somebody that you should be dealing with. Okay? You got to reevaluate that relationship. And if you call them on it, and they always got an explanation for everything, okay, then that lets you know what kind of person that really is. So, whenever I think about that scripture, I always think about it exactly the way the Lord gave it to me. Okay, a good name is worth more than silver and gold. So when you think about a name, what comes to your mind? We have like celebrities and people like that, because people know their name. When a person's name becomes familiar, a celebrity, a politician, or somebody else like that, they consider their name to be their brand, And if you think about it like that, your name is your brand. And every time somebody hears your name, anybody that knows you, that have had close contact with you, when they hear your name, whatever comes to their mind, when they hear your name, that's your brand. That's your brand. It follows you everywhere you go. Okay? Whether it's good or bad. Okay? So when you hear somebody's name, what do you think? Take a moment and think about somebody that you're in close relationship with. Do you think good things? Do you think, do you get excited? Because you're going to have a good time? Like, is this a person that always make you laugh? Is this a person that, you can talk to them, you can tell them anything, and that it won't go any further, and they won't be judging you about it, and even if they disagree with you, they'll disagree with you in love, but they'll keep it real with you, but they'll always be there for you and always be there to back you up. They always got your back, So do you think about them like that? Or do you think about them in a bad way? Like, are they always keeping up drama? Do they always make up stuff about people and go spread rumors and tell lies and all of that kind of stuff like that? Whatever it is that you think about that person, and whatever it is that that person thinks about you, that's your brand. That's your brand that follows you everywhere you go. A good name is worth more than silver and gold. So whatever the case may be, whatever is synonymous with your name, good or bad, is going to follow you. It most certainly will be there at home. The people who are in close proximity to you, who see you every day, who see you in a way that nobody else sees you. When somebody bring up your name to them, that's your brand. What they think about you, that's your brand. And when I think about it a lot, like when my mom passed away back in 2006, and I remember I was kind of like struck by the fact that, when I listened to her friends talk about her, they had such good things. I know a lot of times, when somebody dies, a lot of times people will have good things to say about them. But if you were a horrible person, Okay, people, they won't even come to the funeral, first of all. But a lot of times people will, have nice things to say, and they share so many nice memories about my mom. And I could not help but feel, because I had, so much difficulty with her growing up. And I love my mom. I respected her, and I absolutely loved her, regardless of any and everything, you know. But I could not help but feel at that point like her friends had better memories to share about her than her own kids did. And that says a lot. That says a lot. And that really made me think, as I was raising my kids, that I would never, want somebody else to have a better story to tell about me than my own kids. That's your brand. But nevertheless, in spite of the difficulties, I love my mom greatly. And I was really, really happy that God blessed us to patch things up before she got sick. So like the last couple of years of her life, that was my best time with her. And I'm, even though it was only 2 years, I'm glad that I had a chance to have that before she passed, because some people don't get that, and I was glad to be able to be there for her, as the old saying goes, actions speak louder than words, Now, a lot of times when we think about that saying, actions speak louder than words, a lot of times we're challenging somebody. So if somebody say they're going to do something or whatever, actions speak louder than words. We're challenging them to, stick to what they say they're going to do, But God gave me a different way of looking at that, of the meaning of that. Actions speak louder than words. What that means, what I see that is meaning now, what I understand that to mean now, is whatever your actions are, okay, that shows who you are as a person, okay? Much more than anything that you ever say. Because too often, I feel like so much more now than any other time, people, they say one thing and they do something else, So your actions, they speak way louder. They tell everything about you. So what you do is what really shows people who you truly are. And at the end of the day, nobody can live a life forever. If you're a person that like to lie to people, okay, eventually that's going to be found out. And what is that going to do to your brand? Every time somebody hear your name, if they think you a liar, that you always making up, how we used to say back in the day, you always fronting, then they have respect for you, people may start off trying to let their actions show them to be somebody that they're not, but at some point that becomes exhausting. You can't live a life forever. The real person is always going to show up. So in essence, God's answer to me, to my question, am I a fool? His answer was no. No, you're not a fool. See, this is what we do to ourselves a lot of times. When we find out that we've been playing the fool to somebody, we turn in on ourselves. And we start talking about, I was stupid and I was this and I was that, and sometimes other people say that, they'll say negative things about, man, she dumb. Why she stick with this person? Why this and that? That's the first thing we do a lot of times is abuse ourselves. We are our own worst enemy. So his answer to me was no, you're not a fool. Because anytime somebody tell you something, you're supposed to be able to take them at their word. You're supposed to be able to believe somebody when they tell you, anything. If you have to question a lot, something is wrong with that. And anybody that would seek to lie to you, that would purposely seek to deceive you, they sit there and well, all I gotta do is say this, and all I gotta do is do this, and that'll make them do such and such and this and that and the other. If they looking at you like you a game, guess what? They are a bigger fool than you ever will be. And you know why? Because, like I said before, nobody can live a life forever. If they're a liar, everywhere they go, what happens when a person is a liar? They got to keep telling. They got to lie, tell one lie and tell another lie to keep up with the last lie, and tell another lie to keep up with the other lie. That becomes exhausting. It becomes exhausting after a while. And everything that a person builds on lies, eventually, wherever they go, they can move somewhere else and start all over again. And it's going to fall like a house of cards in the wind. Because nobody can live a life forever. And their reputation will be ruined. Okay? In each place that they move to, when they're building everything up on lies, eventually it's going to fall, because everybody around them will know who they are. A lot of times when we've been in a relationship, especially in our love relationships, but this is, quite honestly, it's not just in our love relationships. This can happen in any relationship. It can happen in our family relationship with people that we call our friends, with somebody lying to you and everything and taking you for a fool, or how we like to say, mistaking your kindness for weakness, And every place that they go, when people find out who they are, then they're going to have to go somewhere else and start all over again. That's exhausting. That is really exhausting. Meanwhile, if you're a person of integrity, you can stay where you are and rebuild your life, and hold your head up high, knowing that when you love this person, you gave your love to them. Okay, you gave the right love to the wrong person. You gave it to somebody that didn't deserve it. That doesn't make you a fool for that. Okay, but look at everything that, as Christians, everything that we learn in the Bible, that the Bible teaches us about love. Jesus told us to love one another. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Even if you consider somebody to be your enemy, you're supposed to show love to them. That's what we're supposed to be about. So you're not a fool for loving somebody. They're a fool for looking at you as a fool for loving them. Because they took your kindness for weakness, and they took you for granted. And when people, a lot of times when they find out that they have been deceived, and once they're able to break away, see, in our love relationships, a lot of times, people, they, why would she stick around? Why would she stay with that person? Why, that question gets asked a lot. It's because of the manipulation. It's the manipulation that make people stick around longer than they should. Because we get stuck on that first impression. That's another old saying, first impressions are lasting, right? And, we make excuses for a person. Oh, they're not really like that. And, they're just having a bad day, or whatever the case may be. Listen, don't beat yourself up for giving the right love to the wrong person. Okay? Now, how and when that liars, or whatever, that abuser, whatever that person is, how and when all of it, everything catches up to them, that's beyond your control. And you can't spend your life and all your time in your mind just waiting on their downfall, waiting on their demise. The best thing you can do for yourself is go on and live your life and succeed. Because a lot of times they, try to convince you you can't make it without them. Do it. Make it without them. And the one thing that you should never do is beat yourself up. This is the thing that we need to learn how to stop doing. I'm a work in progress on that. I've been working hard to not be beating myself up for the different things that I don't like about myself. We all got some things about ourselves that we don't like, but you're not going to be able to change it by being your own worst enemy. We're our own worst enemy. Don't beat yourself up. Don't be talking negatively to yourself. And once you know that person for who they are, believe them. That's another saying, right? Maya Angelou said that. When people show you who they are, believe them the first time. Believe them. And act accordingly. Now that you know, don't let them keep coming back around and keep dishing the same stuff that they were dishing. Because if they really cared about you, they wouldn't be coming around with the same foolishness. When somebody want to do right, they don't make excuses for their behavior. They apologize, and they show in their actions, because the actions speak louder than words. They show in their actions that they really, really want to do right, to change. And you shouldn't have to work your tail off to stop being a liar, right? To stop being a cheater, to stop being a deceiver. Don't abuse yourself with negative self-talk because you gave the right love to the wrong person. Because you gave them chance, even if you gave them more than one chance. Especially a lot of times when we have kids involved, we want to continue. We don't want to fully give up on a person or whatever because we love them enough to have a kid with them. Or kids, both of my kids got the same dad, But, and so you give more than one chance. A lot of times we do. It's not a bad thing to give somebody chances. Jesus give us chances when we don't deserve it. Okay? But once you know them for who they are, okay? God expects us to have forgiveness, but he never said that we had to continue to be nobody's fool. He don't expect us to be nobody's fool. He did not save you for you to be somebody's fool. And if you somebody that don't know the Lord Jesus, if you somebody that's not saved, okay, you belong to him too. And he did not want you to be playing nobody's fool. You are nobody's fool. You are his creation. And when he made you, he looked at you and he said, I did good. Every day when he was creating the earth, the heavens and everything, he looked at it at the end of the day. He said it's good. And he said that when he made you. He said that when he made me. So that's what we have to take with us, okay? We do things wrong. Nobody's perfect, but you try. You try to do right. If you are a person that try to do right, if you a deceiver, you ain't trying to do nothing right. How about that? Yeah, I said. So, once you come to understand that, you've been giving the right love to the wrong person, You know, a lot of times you have to break away, you know. Even if it's somebody in your family, that might not be a popular thought, you know, because a lot of times, you know, people in families, a lot of times they seem to feel entitled to be around you, or even if you've known somebody for a long time or whatever, you know, if they don't mean you well, you don't have to continue with them. No matter who they are, you do not have to continue with them if they don't mean you well. And you know if they don't. Once you know it, you don't have to keep on letting them take you for a ride. Okay? So, and just like you have to take care of your own self, you know, treat yourself well. Don't talk negatively to yourself. Understand that you're not a fool for giving somebody love and for caring for them. That at some point, whoever they lying to and however they lying, it's going to catch up with them. At some point it will. And whether you be able to see it or not, you're going to be going on with your life, living your best life. And they can suffer because they didn't deserve you no way. How about that? Okay? So, if, on a serious note, if you're in a situation where you're afraid for your safety, you can get help. There's a lot you can do to get help. There are a lot of programs out there that will help you to break away if you need that help. Don't let somebody, you know, be putting their hands on you and everything. Tell somebody. The best thing you can do is not stay silent. Don't suffer in silence. Tell somebody. And if you are in a relationship with somebody and y'all have kids together and everything, don't let them use the kids to get at you. If you have to break away for your own safety, do it. I'm seeing that too much, you know. It's in the news too much. You know, most of the time it's women dying at the hands of the men that they've been with. You know, sometimes it's in, guess what? It happens in same-sex relationships too. Yeah, I said it. Nobody deserves to be a fool. Nobody deserves to be treated as if they're a fool when they're not, because you're not a fool. You don't deserve to be treated like that. And if they don't have your best interests at heart, get help and get away from them. Get your kids away, okay? Because your kids, they learn from everything that they see, whether it's directly or indirectly. They learn from it. And if you're in an abusive relationship, you don't want your kids thinking that this is how, you know, they supposed to be treated or how they supposed to treat somebody else. Okay? So, thank you so much for sticking around, sticking with me to the end. If you're still here, I appreciate you for hanging out with me today. If you like this story, please take a moment and click like. It'll help me build my channel. And just let me know that you like what I had to talk about. Leave me a comment. I want to know your story. Okay? Let me know what you think about today's topic. And let me know, you know, if you've been in a situation where you felt like a fool. And at the end of that, say, I felt like a fool, but I'm not a fool. Because you're not. Okay? Share this video to encourage and inspire other people. Please. Subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can know, and click the bell notification so you can know every time I upload a new video. And once again, I thank you so much for watching. And I wish all the best for you and yours until we meet again.